The following is a presentation of the Eagles Sports Network.
Well, thank everybody for being here, and just met with our football team at 3 o'clock and wanted to make sure we handle that the correct way of meeting with those guys first, and started off with them that a verse that I read this morning, and it's Isaiah 26:4. It says, "Trust in the Lord forever, because the Lord is an everlasting rock." I saw one of the John Gordon deals there about how people try to come in pretty soon this time of year and make all kinds of New Year's resolutions that they can't handle, and they suggest that you take one word and one word to live by. And to me, trust is a great word to live by. It's great for a family. It's great for a football team. Great for a marriage. Great for a business. So I would encourage you to adopt that word, trust. That's been the theme of this football team this year, and feel like it's made a difference in some lives. I've been blessed to be a football coach for 47 years. I look around this room, there's not many people in here 47 years old. So I started when I was 2 and worked my way up. But I've been, like I said, I've been blessed to be a coach for 47 years. It's been had an honor to be a coach at Carson-Newman for 36 years. And I played here for 2 years, so that's 38 years of my life I've been blessed to have been an Eagle. The last 3 years has been a very humbling experience to be the head coach at Carson-Newman. There's been some great men come before me that were head coaches at Carson-Newman University. And to have relationships like you have when you're the head coach with these kids, one-on-one deals, has really been a great experience for me, a great blessing in my life. 3 years ago, when I made the decision to make this move, the number one goal there was to make sure that those kids had a chance to grow in their spiritual walk with the Lord, but to get this program back like it should be as far as being a contender for a national championship. And I think this year, getting to the round of 16 out of 169 schools in Division II is a great start. We told the kids that were back, they were coming back for this year in the room last week, that what was in this room right now and what will get recruited to be in this room in the fall to match up should make this football team have an opportunity to be better than the one that was here this year. And I think Carson-Newman is in a better place. I think it's in solid ground right now in the program, and expecting great things to happen. Got a great coaching staff here that's made a difference in these kids' lives. I've always thought wherever you are and wherever you've been, that where you've been at should be a better place for you being there. I think that football-wise, it's a better place right now. But I pray every morning that it's a better place in God's eyes, because He's been honored by the efforts that this football program has had. And I pray that the lives and relationships that our players and have with the Lord have been strengthened, have been started for some of them for the first time commitments. Gosh, to go back and have kids baptized in Mossy Creek to start the year off, that was awesome. But also know that make it a better place than where you've been and provide them a chance to have a future. And I think this program, this university, with Dr. Fowler as the president, with Matt Pope as the athletic director, I think this program has a bright and brilliant future in front of it. I've been in prayer in the last week or so, week and a half. After that game, wanted to make sure that we met with our team and got everything wrapped up from 2019 and had a chance to take our seniors out to dinner, to sit down with them and have dinner together. and then spent a few days praying about this decision. And, you know, it's a lot of people had a job their whole life and had a career, and this has been much more than a job and much more than a career. It's been a ministry on our behalf as a coaching staff. But gosh, it's brought many great messages to me as a man, and been a great blessing to me and my family to be a part of this. I told those kids that I've always wanted a house that had a balcony on it, and I know being a football coach, I never could afford one of those. So at least I had an office that had a balcony. And every morning I would go out there and pray that those kids are going to be better every day. They're going to be better as a player, better as a man, and more importantly, better in their relationship with the Lord. So I've come to peace with that, with the good Lord, and see that it's now time to go to the next step in my life. Gosh, I've got 2 grandchildren, a beautiful wife that again I need to get to know again after 46 years of coaching, and she's been a great wife to me, and a great person to be in my life to keep me steady. Got 2 great kids and 2 great grandchildren, and I want to be able to spend some time with them and still be the biggest fan that Carson-Newman has. And what we started here a few years ago that goes for every player that's ever been here. There's a program now that they're a part of. It's called Eagle Forever. So I'll always be an Eagle forever. The same way we would include any player, any coach that's ever been here. And I guess when you come to this part of your life, you trust in the Lord, and you trust that He's got a great adventure left for me in my life.
Question for Coach Turner. Coach, you said you've been praying about it, thinking about it. How long has that thought been in your head? This might be your last season.
Just a week or so. Yeah, from July to the end of November, the only thing that's been in my mind is trying to help a football team get ready to play. Okay? So when we got things settled down with this, and I looked at it, you know, when you talk about recharging and relooking and to see where it needs to go in the future, you know, there are great challenges out there in front of you, and I just feel like this is the time that some other things in my life that need to get taken care of, I need to spend some time getting those things taken care of.
Because you guys did make the playoffs and had the success, does that make it harder or easier to make this decision?
I think it makes it harder. I think it makes it harder because if you weren't successful, you go, daggone it, I'll be there till we get it done right. And I think it's much harder when you feel like the program has experienced success and you feel like it's geared up and ready to go for more success in the future. Yeah, I think that's much harder.
Coach, I know you've had a lengthy career here at Carson-Newman, but when you take time to reflect on all of it, what's kind of the first thing that pops into your mind?
Oh, gosh, just I guess, you know, relationships you've had with people, with players, coaches that you've been involved in, you know, from being a player at Carson-Newman and being blessed enough to come back and coach here. But gosh, the people that you come in contact with since 1980 as a coach and their families. And gosh, we've coached former players' children now, you know, and that's been a great privilege.
You had the opportunity to talk with your players just a little bit ago. What was kind of their immediate reaction?
Well, I think their reaction was, Coach, we love you, and Coach, we understand. And like the first one told me is going to miss me, and I go, baby, I'm going to miss you. You know, there's a special bond between players and coaches. People don't understand sometimes everything it takes to get to a Saturday to play a football game. And people are unaware of the struggles that many of these kids have come through simply to get to college, but things that they have overcome in their past to be able to stay here, to be able to be successful. And gosh, it's been great in the last couple of years that we've had kids play that are getting degrees, but they're also getting master's degrees, MBAs, and gosh, we told everybody we'll put that up against Harvard. All right.
When you look back at your career now at this point, what would you tell like a younger coach who's just getting into it? Maybe it's something you wish you would have done differently, or something you just learned over the course of your career. What would you tell younger coaches?
Just to be yourself, and I've seen coaches and young coaches that got this job and they worry about where their next job is. Do a great job where you're at. The job will find you. Okay, if you do the best job you can do at where you're at, somebody else is going to find you. Somebody else is going to see that. But I think the biggest thing is make sure you're in it for the people that you coach, that you're not in it for you, because it's a tough enough business as it is. You got to have some pretty thick skin most of the time, and you got to understand why you coach to start with. What are the goals that you set, and what really is going to make you a success? When that kid's there and he plays 4 years and he's going to graduate, he's a better man to go back in his community. He's going to be a great husband, and hopefully one day a great father. There's a success.
When you said you kind of contemplated this for a week or two, was there a moment that really sticks out where you realized like, I'm going to retire? Is there like a moment of truth, if you will?
I don't think there's and that's what I tried to work out, and I talked with Matt about. I don't know that there is a good time. You know what I mean? I don't know that there is a good time to do that. I think you just have to trust that this is the right time, and you know where you are, where you've been, what's happened, the blessings in your life, and you look at, what else is there? What else is out there for you?
What's the last thing for me? What do you see in this program for the future? How good can this program be, and what's your hope for it?
Oh, I think this program can contend for a national championship. I don't think there's any question about that. But I do think the most unique thing about this program is that it changes lives. And national championships and all those things are great, but our lives being changed. You know what I mean? Our families being changed because of it. And to me, the greatest thing that this program does is that right there. And that, to me, is the great challenge, because this world, this country needs the Carson-Newmans to keep making a change and making a difference.
Mike, if you will, talk about the sense of generations now of coaches and the brotherhood of coaches that you've been a part of and have gotten to lead for these last few years.
Well, there's so many. One of the things that's always helped us at Carson-Newman is how many Carson-Newman people are there out there coaching in high schools and different places that assist you in recruiting, and it's always been great relationships that we've had with those guys. Sometimes I've wondered, are we really leading them right when they go out and become a coach? I'm thinking, man, I don't know if we've led this guy the right way. But they're out there continuing what this family is about. And, there's been coaches like a Charlie King that was my coach here, and I coached his son, Chuck King, here, those kind of things. And so it's been a unique family situation at Carson-Newman.
Anything else for Coach Turner?
Oh, I don't know that there's anything that went on that specifically did that. I think you come to a point in your career, and I'm 68 years old, all right, and been blessed to still have the vinegar and all those kind of things to go get it every day and be excited about it. I think you get to a point where, hey, I've done this 46 years of my life, and now maybe it's time to go on and move on to another part of it, to another story.
You mentioned being Carson-Newman's biggest fan in the future. Have you thought about the game that you'll come back here for, and you won't be on the sidelines getting to get on a guy, and you're going to be up in the stands kind of having to take a back seat?
I don't think I could ever sit in the stands. All right, I don't believe I would handle that very well, because I know I've been down there and I know what happens in the stands sometimes. So no, I would never sit in the stands, but I would be way off to the side and watch and stay out of the way and still enjoy watching the Carson-Newman football game. Absolutely. Gosh, there have been guys here like a Ken Sparks, a Dow Shealy. Those kind of people were great influences in my life, and I came from a junior college to come here, George Litton, and I came from a high school that the two other of these guys, a guy named Charlie Gregory was the coach and made a difference in my life, and took a little redheaded boy out of the mill house and took good care of him, and he's one of the main reasons why I wanted to coach, because I saw what this guy did with other people and the difference he made.
More so than being a coach, what has it meant to you to be a mentor of men?
Well, I think that's, I don't remember many scores. We won a lot of football games at Carson-Newman, and I don't remember many of the scores, but you sure remember the kids, and you remember their story. And sometimes they get around, they're telling those stories, and for a fact they've stretched those stories out just a little bit, and that happens when those guys get together. They're a lot faster and quicker than they ever were when I remember coaching them. But, I think the whole experience is about the kids. We've won national championships and played for it 10 times and all those kind of things, but goodness gracious, it's been about how they grew up and where they are now, and they've come back after all those years, and they keep coming back to visit, and those are the things that's very, very special about this job.
What will be one of the first things you say to whoever the new guy is that takes this role at this university? What will be the first thing you tell that person if you get a chance to talk to them?
Oh my. I think just make sure you understand that it's a privilege to coach at Carson-Newman, and it's like kids. We tell them it's a privilege to play here, and I believe in my heart it's a privilege to coach here. And make sure you cherish it, okay? Make sure you keep it as a privilege, and it doesn't get to be about you, but it gets to be about the honor it is to be a coach here.
Anything else for Coach Kerman? Mike, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey, thank all of y'all for what you've done for this program. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Bring up our VP of Athletics, Matt Pope.
Bear with me. Kind of a tough day for me. This is tough news to hear. But today's a great day to recognize our history and to celebrate a wonderful head coach and his family for the wonderful job that he's done in mentoring and steering our student athletes and what he's meant to Carson-Newman University. I'm a 1-year-old here at Carson-Newman, so I'm just a little toddler, but for the last few years, we've witnessed what it means to have an elite head coach. Mike's guided our Eagles to 3 consecutive winning seasons, and he's gotten Carson-Newman football back to where it belongs, and that's competing for national championships. Not only has Mike elevated the quality of our football program from where his predecessor Ken Sparks left off, but the status of our program has elevated SAC football. Our other programs have had to raise their level just to compete with us. Mike is an elite coach, and his program has excelled both on and off the field. While Mike has a tremendous command of the triple option, that's second to none, what is most important, and I think you alluded to this earlier, is that Mike shares his Christian witness day in and day out as a leader of men. The hallmark of great coaching is to leave the program better than you found it, and Mike Turner has certainly done that here. He does that spiritually, academically, athletically, and socially each and every day with the young men under his charge. And specifically, our football program is deeply grateful for what he means to us. Connie and Mike are leaders in our community, and they've always stepped up for Jefferson City, Tennessee, as well as Carson-Newman University. We're grateful to both of them for what they've given to us. They are fine people, professionals in every aspect, and we truly are inspired and indebted to them for their contribution to Carson-Newman University. As we look forward to the future, I want to thank Dr. Charles Fowler for his guidance and leadership regarding the athletics department. The upcoming search will be important for us. We will explore candidates from both internal and external, and we're going to do our very best to hire the best fit for Carson-Newman University. So,
Any questions for Matt Pope?
Obviously, the search has begun. I know you won't mention any names to narrow the list.
no, I'm not going to mention any names.
You have a timeline.
We will be expedient, but we will not be hasty. We're going to try and make sure we do our due diligence and look at all the candidates that we need to look at. Mike does not leave the cupboard bare. He's done a wonderful job. We've got some great internal candidates on our staff, and I'm assuming that once this gets out, we'll have some external people that we did not know about that are very interested as well. But the Carson-Newman family is vast, and so we expect to hear from a lot of folks.
When you talk about the right fit for Carson-Newman, what is one of the first thing or two that comes to mind?
I knew that'd be asked. A person of integrity, someone who's not unwilling to share their Christ-like. Mike has impressed me immensely from my first day here as one who leads his program almost more so than football, but to lead his young men to Christ. He's not ashamed to get those kids in a bus and take them to church on Sunday mornings, and we do that repeatedly and often. He is planting the seed, and he mentioned bloom where you're planted. That was my mom's favorite saying. We need to bloom where we're planted, and I think he does that in a wonderful, wonderful way. I think, Mike, we're looking at folks that know how to recruit, someone who can engage in a community, someone who's a good communicator. There's just a lot of aspects. Obviously, we want someone who knows the X's and O's, but we can't forget the university's mission and our Baptist tradition, and that's something that is going to be important as we look to our candidates in the future.
Anything else for Matt Pope?
Is there any certain emphasis on getting somebody, I know you said you're not mentioning any names or any list, but somebody from this area, or does that matter at all?
I think the right fit for Carson-Newman University will bear itself out. I'm not so certain that it's someone locally or not locally. Right now, Mike and I met this morning, and so this has not had a chance to bear fruit yet. So that's all I'll say out of that.
Have you kind of reached out to any of the players, maybe some of the rising senior leaders, as to maybe kind of their input on current members of the staff?
I have not. Mike mentioned that we met with the team today at 3. That was the first any kind of inclination that they had that the change was being made.
Is that something you would look at doing moving forward?
Possibly. We'd obviously want their input. We'd like to have their input, but it's not imperative moving forward.